Breaking right now. Buckingham Palace just dropped a calm but firm mic on the constitutional table, and Westminster felt it like a 5.0 on the political Richter scale. King Charles issued what's being called his final decision on ceremonial and constitutional expectations. Measured tone, unmistakable message. And the kicker, Keir Starmer was live on air when it hit. He froze for a blink, jumped in before the statement even finished, and suddenly the debate wasn't theoretical anymore, it was television. Buckle up, this is the moment where tradition met timing and the Crown set the tempo without raising its voice. The palace didn't leak, tease, or trial balloon. It issued, full stop. A statement confirming the King's final position on a range of ceremonial and constitutional expectations. Language careful, tone respectful, conclusion unmistakable. That's the royal playbook. No theatrics, maximum clarity. Westminster felt it instantly because this wasn't a chatter headline. This was a boundary line, the quiet kind that rewrites the day's agenda. And while the political class was busy jawing about polls, funding, and gaffes, the monarchy chose the moment that mattered and made it count. If the statement shook the institutions, wait till you hear how it landed on live TV. Keir Starmer, mid-interview, mid-thought, mid-control, then the presenter begins reading the palace statement. For a heartbeat, you can see the processing. The eyes catch, the breath stalls, the calculation flickers. Then, bang, he interjects before the sentence lands. That's not panic, that's instinct. In American news terms, it's the don't let the moment define you, shape it move. He knew silence would look like surprise, and surprise would read like vulnerability. So he cut in, recentered, and tried to own the frame. But what exactly was in the royal readout that pulled the emergency brake on the segment? The statement confirmed King Charles's final position on ceremonial and constitutional expectations. No drama, no jabs, just precision. The monarchy won't get dragged into a public spat, but it will draw lines when necessary. Think, the constitutional referee doesn't coach, doesn't cheer, but it blows the whistle when play goes offside. The tone did the heavy lifting. Calm equals control, respectful equals stability, firm equals final. No ambiguity here, this was a reset on interpretation, not a lunge into politics. And the timing? That's where the craft meets the calculus. On the calendar, this was just another palace briefing, the type that glides past without ruffling a cufflink. Not this time. This one stuck the landing. It turned a normal day into a constitutional teachable moment. By going quiet format with consequential content, the palace let the message speak louder than the medium. That's how you avoid spectacle while still steering the conversation. It's subtle power, deployed with surgical restraint. Now let's talk reactions, because the speed was immediate and the optics were everything. When the presenter started reading, Starmer stepped in, fast. He framed, he insisted, he tried to move the lens from what did the king just say to here's what matters now. That's a leader's reflex under the hot lights. Control the narrative, don't get pinned by it. No melodrama, no rant, just a visible pivot in real time. The freeze was a split second. The response was the story. Live TV doesn't wait for anyone, and he knew it. Meanwhile, beyond the studio, the signal hit Westminster like a memo no one could ignore. Within minutes, you could feel the recalibration. This wasn't about personalities, it was about posture. The monarchy set expectations without getting into the mud. That's constitutional clarity, not political commentary. For parliamentarians and ministers, the takeaway was straightforward. Mind the lanes, respect the roles, and stop testing the elastic on unwritten rules. The message spread fast because its power came from restraint. And speaking of power, listen to the tone again, because the tone is the tell. Calm, respectful, firm. That's not soft language, that's disciplined language. It signals authority without heat and finality without confrontation. In American newsroom speak, it's the we said it once because we meant it once approach. The monarchy avoided spectacle and still owned the moment. No uppercase letters, no exclamation points, just constitutional gravity. That tone cues everyone else on how serious this is. No noise, just signal. So what are the practical implications when the Crown calibrates like this? This statement reframes how ceremonial and constitutional expectations get read in the near term. It's not a rulebook rewrite, it's a glossary correction. You'll see more careful choreography around the Crown's presence, phrasing, and participation in public life. The political class will mind their verbs, the commentators will check their assumptions, and the is this normal debate gets a new baseline. It's subtle, but the subtle stuff is what actually changes behavior, which leads to the big watch item. What's next on the horizon? Don't expect fireworks, expect tempo. The palace just set one. Upcoming ceremonies, public appearances, and moments with constitutional shadows will now carry this new tuning. Politicians will step lighter around the boundaries, media will clock the framing, the country won't see big bangs, but it will feel the rhythm shift. That's how institutions adjust, one measured beat at a time. And when the rhythm changes, what exactly did Westminster hear today? This wasn't chatter, this was a chapter marker. The monarchy underscored its role without getting in the political scrum. Everyone from backbenchers to broadcasters got the memo. The crown won't spar, but it will define. That matters because it stabilizes expectations down the line. You could call it a constitutional reset, you could call it a guardrail reminder, either way it sticks. And yes, the whole country felt the hush that follows a message delivered without volume. So where does this go next? And what do you want us to break down first? If you want a no-spin deep dive into how this final decision reshapes the crown government choreography, what's custom, what's constitution, and where the grey areas live, drop break it down in the comments. Smash subscribe for smart, high-energy coverage without the fluff, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next live TV moment that flips the script, and share this with someone who thinks tone doesn't matter in politics. Spoiler, today proved it. Big time.